Cambridge Institute, Nashira. In this video, I am going to talk about structure and function of human heart. So consider this, that this one is called left side. L means left side, while consider this one is called right. This one is called right. And as we know that human heart has 4 chambers. So now let's draw them, that how many chamber does a human heart have. So the first one is now this chamber is a little bit bigger than this one. So normally this chamber is called left ventricle. This chamber is called left ventricle, ventricle, and this chamber is called, this one is called right ventricle. That is called here right ventricle, and these two chambers are covered by a membrane which is called pericardium. So we have membrane, this is a membrane. And next we have that the heart has many walls. So first wall, which is here, that is up and down. This wall is called pulmonary wall. This wall is called pulmonary wall. This one is called pulmonary wall. That is called wall, pulmonary wall. And this artery is called pulmonary artery. This artery is called pulmonary artery. This artery is called pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. This one is called pulmonary artery. And sometime this wall is also called semilunar wall. And next wall we have, that is also up, and this wall is called aortic wall. This one is called aortic wall. This one is called aortic wall. And this artery is called aorta, which is the largest artery in human body. This one is called this one is the largest one, which is called aorta. That is called here aorta, which is the largest artery in human body. Next, left side we have other, that is called walls. Another wall which is called bicuspid wall. Bicuspid wall is also called mitral wall. This one is also called, this wall is also called mitral wall, or we can also call the bicuspid wall. This one is also called bicuspid wall because it has 2 plates, bicuspid wall. And next we have another wall which is here tricuspid wall. That this side we have another walls which is called tricuspid wall. This wall is called tricuspid wall. This wall is called tricuspid wall. Tricuspid Why it is called tri? Because it has three flaps. Tricuspid wall. That is called here tricuspid wall. Tricuspid wall. Now let's move further it. Let it proceed it right here and move here. And we have further it right here, two more. We have two more walls. Now we got another chamber which is called left atrium, which is called this chamber is called left atrium, left atrium, and the wall between left atrium and left ventricle is called bicuspid wall, which is also called mitral wall, and next we have these two walls, which is here aortic wall and as well as that pulmonary wall. These two walls are called semilunar walls. These two walls, wall number one is called aortic wall, that is called here aortic wall, plus pulmonary wall, that is called here pulmonary wall. Wall is called semilunar wall. And now if we move further, so we have another chamber which is called here now we got another chamber, and this chamber is called right atrium. This chamber is called right atrium. That is called here right atrium here. Next we have that this one is called superior vena cava. Vena cava is the largest vein which is present in human body. So this one is actually called superior vena cava. This one is called superior vena cava. And this one is especially called inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. This one is called the first largest vein is called superior vena cava, and the lowest vein is called inferior vena cava, and the walls between right atrium and right ventricle is called tricuspid wall, which has three flaps. Next one is called right ventricle, and this one is called left ventricles, and the wall between left atrium and left ventricle is called mitral wall, which is also called bicuspid wall, and the wall between aorta and left ventricle is called aortic wall, and sometimes we also called semilunar walls. And next we have that these are called pulmonary veins. These are called pulmonary veins. That is called here veins. Pulmonary veins. Why it is called pulmonary? Pulmonary means lungs, and here it is exceptions. The function of vein is that it collects deoxygenated blood from the body and carry it toward the heart. But here is exceptions. It carries oxygenated blood from the lungs and pour into the left atrium. We discuss later on that complete circulation of human blood. Next one is that here we have a membrane. This membrane is actually, heart is covered by a heart membrane. This is actually membrane, and this membrane is called pericardium. This membrane is actually called pericardium. This membrane is basically called pericardium. This one, heart is covered by a membrane. This is fully covered by a membrane, and this membrane is called pericardium. This is called pericardium. Cardium. Peri means outside, and cardium means heart. It's a Greek word, and cardium means heart. It's a Greek word, cardium, and cardium means heart. Next, inside we have another membrane which is called endocardium. Endo, that is here. That is, this membrane is also called. This membrane is called basically. This is the membrane which is present inside, and this inside membrane is called endocardium. This is called endocardium. This membrane is called endocardium. And here we have muscles inside here which is called striated, like this kind of muscles, and that muscle is called myocardium. This muscle is called myocardium. That is called here myocardium muscles. These muscles are called, these are basically striated in shape, and these muscles are called, these muscles actually called, now these muscles are called myocardium, and the membrane which is present between ventricles and left ventricles and the right ventricles is called septum. This one is called this is called septum. That is called here septum. That is called septum here. And here the muscles are, here we have muscles here. These muscles are squamous. You can say these are muscles, and these muscles are called papillary muscles. These muscles actually here, these are called papillary muscles. These are called papillary muscles. That is called here papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. So this is the structure of human heart. Now first of all, we just look one views, and then we'll discuss about that circulation of blood in human heart. Let's begin that what are the chambers and what are their names. So we have chamber, which is the largest chamber in human heart, that is called left ventricle. And as we know that heart is called double pump, and double pump because on left side we have oxygenated blood. Remember that left side we have oxygenated blood, while the left side we have deoxygenated blood. That is called here deoxygenated blood. Left side we have oxygenated blood. What is oxygenated blood? A blood which has more concentration of oxygen and low concentration of carbon dioxide is called oxygenated blood. And this one is called left ventricle, this one is called left atrium, and this one is called right ventricle, and this chamber is called right atrium. Now let's begin the blood flow. So now from where the blood flow begins, we have pulmonary artery, that is called pulmonary veins. Pulmonary carry oxygenated blood from the lungs, and 4N2 that is called here where, that is basically called pulmonary artery carry oxygenated blood from the lungs and 4 into the left atrium. Then there is a wall which is called bicuspid wall. So bicuspid wall open and the oxygenated blood come to the left ventricles, and then left ventricles the blood come here, and then the oxygenated blood return back. It's moved toward the wall which is called aortic wall, So aortic wall open, which is also called semilunar walls, and this is called aorta, and aorta is the largest arteries which carry oxygenated blood to the human parts. And then it's further divided when this blood is used in the body, so it is returned by arteries, veins, and the largest vein is called vena cava. The largest one is called vena cava. So we have two vena cava. One is called superior vena cava, one is called inferior vena cava. One is called superior vena cava, one is called inferior vena cava. So superior vena cava take the deoxygenated blood pump from upper part of the body, such as head, neck, and other. And 4 and 2 where 4 and 2, that is called here, that is called right atrium. The upper superior vena cava take deoxygenated blood from the body and pour into the right atrium, and as well as inferior vena cava take the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body, such as legs, feet, etc. And 4 into the right atrium. And then right atrium there is a wall which is called tricuspid wall, and tricuspid wall opens the deoxygenated blood 4 into the right ventricles. Now this blood need to be oxygenated, so it moves toward the lungs, and there is a wall which is called pulmonary walls, and this pulmonary wall is also called semilunar walls. This wall opens and the deoxygenated blood move toward the lungs, and the lungs it's become oxygenated, and the cycle is repeated. So now let's revise the cycle, that how it's we can say that circulate in human body. So first of all, pulmonary veins take oxygenated blood from the lungs and 4 into the left atrium. There is a wall which is called mitral wall, or also called bicuspid wall. Bicuspid wall open like here. When it opens, the blood received by left ventricles, and it is basically oxygenated blood. Then when it contract, so here that another wall which is called aortic wall, and this aortic wall open, the oxygenated blood move toward the aorta. Then aorta is further divided that arteries and then arterioles, and then when this blood is used by the body, so then we have that right side which is called that the function of vein is to take deoxygenated blood from the body and return to the heart. So we have the largest vein which is called vena cava. Vena cava take the deoxygenated blood from the body, and especially we have two vena cava. One is called the superior vena cava, one is called inferior vena cava. The superior vena cava take the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body, while inferior vena cava take the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body and pour into the right atrium. There is a wall which is called tricuspid wall open, the deoxygenated blood received by right ventricles, then that there is a wall which is called pulmonary wall opens, and the blood moves toward the lungs through pulmonary artery. So that's it.